the stench surrounding Birmingham as this bin strike continues, over a month now since it began. I mean, can you imagine the residents there, what they are experiencing? Many people are calling this a national embarrassment. The Bin Workers Union yesterday rejected a pay offer. The government has called in army experts and military planners to help with logistical support to tackle the crisis. And they're now in calls from people saying, bring in the soldiers. I mean, they've brought in people, Kelly, to say, well, this is maybe what you could do. Yeah. But there are many people, myself included, and Denise this morning, going, sorry, could you not, just while they're over there negotiating, I'm not saying who's right or wrong, I don't know, OK? Both sides have got their points, I'm sure. But as a member of the public, if I lived in Birmingham, I'd say, can't you just get the army in to help us clear it? Yeah. Because there are people saying, oh, you could take the bins to, you know, the bin bags to the tip yourself. You go, well, yes, if you've got transport, but if you haven't...
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really great shame because at the end of the day, these families are here living with it day in and day out. It's building, it's building, it's building. It's becoming infested. There's kind of, you know, all of the things that go along with that. These ministers come in, have a look around, wear the coat and the hat and the high-vis jacket and go, oh, yes, oh, this is... we'll have to go back and sort this out. You're going back. You're leaving it, but they're living in it. So do something and sort it ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. And I think listen, there will be some kind of red tape or bureaucratic reason why the army, why the soldiers that we have in this country are not able to go and do that. But to me, this is a situation where just override it. You see, I get so cross why everything has to be ruled by bureaucracy. Why can't they make a phone call and say, this is a disaster. Please, can we have soldiers to go in and get rid of this mess? Why is that so difficult?
I would, because that to me, it's almost like it starts to become like almost an emergency situation to me, Janet. And I know my dad, I mean, there's a headline in front of the Sun today saying Britain is broken. And in this situation, my dad, who was an army man, would say to me, the country's going to hell in a handcart, love. That's what's happening.
No, it isn't. Yes, it is, Janet.
And people, many of our audience, particularly, I say, more mature members of our audience, applause from them, are agreeing. People are feeling now the country's broken.
Nothing's working.
Nothing works. There's rubbish on the street. We're a
service industry's a disaster. Everything is broken. What's not broken, Janet?
I walk into a station like King's Cross, which was really rebuilt in the last 20 years, and I think what a brilliant, brilliant station. We are rebuilding our railway network. It is taking time, but boarding a train now and travelling on... if you come to London and you go on the Elizabeth line, you're travelling on a world-class...
Yeah, that's if your train arrives, if your train is on time, if you can get a seat on the train.
If you want to adopt a negative attitude about everything in Britain, you are just falling into the trap of thinking things are worse now than they were 20 years ago, and it is just not true. Now, also, in this country, we suffer from this disease, which is called slagging off our own country. Now, if you go to Australia...
Makes me laugh.
If you go to Australia, you don't hear Australians saying, well, the trouble with Australia is, and blah, blah, blah,
maybe
blah,
they
blah.
don't have the same problems.
And you go to America, they just simply do not denigrate their own country in the way that in this country we're totally obsessed.
Oh, no, they do.
We're talking about broken Britain. Yes, Britain is going through a financial crisis. Yes, there are long waiting lists on the National Health Service, but we came through COVID. OK, we delivered vaccines. We are still delivering vaccines to the most vulnerable of our population regularly.
We didn't come through COVID. COVID absolutely devastated millions of jobs and millions of companies. But it was a disaster.
It didn't affect Britain worse than other countries involved in the pandemic. And the fact is now in Britain, we have a Labour government which seems to be steady and seems to be not panicking.
You're living in the same country as me.
Well, I'm sorry. I am
mean,
just
to be fair, you
not
have to give
going to
them
say
time.
that Britain's going down the pan. I just think that's just
No, but I do
not
think it's
constructive.
healthy to have healthy debate about your country and say the things that you think needs to improve, because otherwise we're not going to change. So actually saying, look, fix the potholes.
So you think that the rubbish strike would be solved by sending in the army? I've got news for you. You send in the army, it does nothing to resolve the dispute.
It might
No,
not
but it
resolve
at
the
least gets
dispute.
rid of what's there
Yeah,
now.
it might not resolve the dispute, but if you had a pile of rubbish outside your house with rats, some people are saying
Well,
the size of
excuse
cats.
me,
I don't
that's
know.
just rubbish.
No, but you would want that gone.
No,
Pardon the pun.
Right, listen,
These
Jen,
rats the size of
I hate to tell you, our poll, are you embarrassed by Britain? 91% of people at the moment said yes. Yeah, only 9% said no.
Oh, well, try living
Listen, I
somewhere
think
else.
it's great that you support Britain. I'm very pro-Britain.
I am.
I'm
I
very
love so much
pro-Britain.
about this
So
country.
do I.
So I really do.
But we have a lot of
And also,
problems.
the things that I'm going on about now, you're right, it's not just now. The NHS, when I was having my baby 36 years ago, where it was an absolute embarrassment in many cases, apart from the staff who worked there. So it's not just now, but it's like every single winter. Every winter we have snow.
Well,
but there's a
clearly
surprise.
you don't remember.
Britain freezes
Hang on
is
a
the
minute.
headline.
Denise,
It gets above 20 degrees. Phew, what a scorcher.
I'm so old. I remember the winter of discontent. I remember the electricity being off. I remember having to buy a little mini generator. Ladies in the audience of my generation are nodding. We have lived through far worse than this, with the miners' strike, Ted Heath, blah, blah, blah. Need I go on? Is
But
this
it doesn't
really
matter
the
whether-
worst Britain has ever been in living memory?
Maybe not, but we'll have a
but
rant.
maybe not for you. Maybe not for you, but maybe for a younger generation who, again, they didn't live through the winter of discontent and they are looking at it now.
Yeah, but
going,
they're also
"I don't wanna
inheriting
be
all of
here."
the mess that came that wasn't caused by them in the first place.
We could go on, but we can't. We could be on and on all day with this one. But thank you for getting involved with our poll.